Welcome back, pop stars. I'm Rizzo.
I'm Benji.
And we want to thank y'all for all the love and support that you've shown us. This was a very difficult situation for, honestly, the both of us to go through. My mom meant so much to so many people, myself and Benji, who she considered like a second son. We feel very lucky to have been able to share her with y'all and introduce the world to my mom through the Drag Me to Hell reaction.
Oh.
I called her up and I said, hey, I think it's finally time we have you on the reaction channel. And she said, I was thinking that too, but I felt like it was supposed to be something different. I was like, well, lady, do I have something different for you? She was such a trooper. It was a very special video, and I'm so thankful for that. Welcome back, pop stars, and welcome to our new pop star. Hi, this is Bucket, also known as Thug Bucket in honor of my sister, Thug Muffin, also known as Miss Chompers, Mrs. Chomps, Chomperella, Chomp Cena, Buquetta.
Buquetta mia.
What else? What do you call her?
Little Miss Piggy.
Little Miss Piggy. Look at that piggy face.
Piggity little piggy.
She's such a pig. You can't see me. Miss Bucket has helped us through some very difficult times, haven't you?
She came at a very, very good time. She's like, get off me.
God. All right.
Oh, baby.
Well, here's a cute video of her meeting Sunny for the first time. So yes, there will be a pup star reaction.
There will be.
Before you ask.
Put some suggestions for what movies the puppies should watch together.
That's great.
Also, here's a video of her first meeting Papa. Oh, look at the baby.
The baby.
Look at the baby. Meet your Papa.
We've missed out on a lot. Obviously, we've missed you, pop stars. Again, lots of stuff has happened, to say it mildly.
Yeah.
So we're going to do a rapid kind of just talking about what we've watched to help cope with the sadness. First off, though, some housekeeping. For this month, we will be releasing all of our previously recorded reactions or videos. There's no mention of anything that's happened in between, nor of a dog.
It's gonna seem very insensitive, probably.
Yeah. While we're releasing those, we will be preparing for Poptober. We're gonna get a lot of spooky content out there for y'all. Last thing, we have a special announcement for our patrons, past, present, and future. So stay tuned. It's at the end of this video. All right, Benji.
What?
How do we cope with sadness?
With movies.
So we're gonna start off with the first movie that we watched, Netflix's Sea Beast. What did you think of that?
It was super cute.
I liked it.
It was like a strong movie. It felt like it was ebbing between Pixar and straight to DVD release.
I would give it a little bit more than that. I definitely think
well,
it was,
like leaning more towards Pixar.
Yeah, it was definitely one of the stronger entries I've seen in a non-Pixar. Is it something you've seen before? Absolutely. There are shades of How to Train Your Dragon. There are shades of Monsters, Inc.
There's about 50 Shades of Grey.
So there's a lot of stuff you've definitely seen before. I think they did it well. I think it was a good story. I think the villain was interesting. It was that the stories that were being told were actually propaganda.
That's right.
That was a lot for kids to take in.
I actually watched that one twice, and I don't think I finished it either time because it's surprisingly long, pop stars.
I was gonna say.
Make sure you are wide awake and you have 2 hours to devote to a movie that keeps surprising you when it keeps going.
If you had to give it a pop or stop, would you give it a pop or stop?
Pop.
Yeah, definitely a pop.
This is a good movie.
What's next, Benji?
Well, this came a little bit later, but me and your sister started getting you into the Bachelor franchise, The Bachelorette.
Yes. Well, we were watching it before everything happened, and those first few episodes were wild.
Yeah, last season, obviously, with Clayton, was a mess at the end.
Bro, every single guy came in like, I'm not Clayton. I'm not Clayton.
They were so lame. I was like, how are you going to walk in and mention the most traumatic thing to happen to these girls?
That guy said, I guess me and Clayton have 3 things in common. We're in love with, we have something in common.
I've got something in common with Clayton. I'm in love with 3 women. My mom, my sister, and my dog, Kira.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
What an idiot. It's so much more fun to make fun of the guys
Absolutely.
than it is to make fun of the women.
Yeah.
No one wants to make fun of the women.
No, that's not fun. The women are actually trying.
Oh, no. But I feel like the season's definitely petered out.
Well, it was a hot mess at first. Now that it's getting serious and people are actually getting their feelings hurt, it's just a little bit tougher to watch. But that first few episodes where it was just madness, that was it takes you out of your own head and what you're dealing with.
Oh, it absolutely does, because you can't help but watch them and go, no, wait a minute. I know I might be sad as shit right now, but that guy named Meatball has to go. The fucking magician gotta go.
Chicken guy?
Yeah, it's like the guy looks like a goddamn chicken. Get him the hell out of here.
Yes.
Bachelorette, a pop at the start, maybe a stop
Right
at the
now,
end.
it's a stop. Rachel keeps getting rid of the guys that I like. If you're watching this and you got eliminated by Rachel, hit me up. I have time for you. I'll give you a rose.
While we were watching The Bachelorette, we were also simultaneously watching Better Call Saul, which is probably my absolute favorite show of all time. And I got you into it. Like,
High praise.
I think you actually, you were interested enough. Like, you followed along with me.
Was I? Or
You were.
am I an actor? And scene. I hated that show.
No, you didn't.
I could not stand it, Josiah. I just like hanging out with you, and that was the only way to do it.
I don't know how I feel about that.
No, it was definitely a fun show. It was good because I had you there to give me context. Not that I needed it.
We will circle back to that because I have a lot more to say. On the same note, I have been watching Breaking Bad. I think it's one of the best shows, at least in terms of writing. It's very misogynistic.
I am not in danger, Skylar. I am the danger.
I don't really fault the creators for it. I think a lot of the misogyny just comes from what we were okay with watching at the time. But I do think, and again, we'll speak on it, but I think that Better Call Saul rectifies that. So definitely still a pop. There's some stuff that it doesn't translate to the year 2022. Still very fun to watch.
You're goddamn right.
I'm going to give it a stop. Better Call Saul is a pop. Breaking Bad's a stop. And you know why? Because it doesn't make me want to watch it, you know?
Oh, you're not paying attention. That translation, by the way, means there's no hot people in the lead.
God, Jesus.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Which means that Better Call Saul is really good because I can't imagine you're attracted to Bob Odenkirk.
Well, I did end up liking what's-his-face.
Yo soy Eduardo, but you can call me Lalo.
He was giving Sinister Daddy vibes,
Oh,
and I was
God,
like,
you're the worst.
I'm about it.
Oh, we saw Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. Without spoiling it, what did you think about the ending?
I loved and hated it.
I know, that's how I felt.
Yeah, it made sense, I will say. There was a lot.
I just kissed my head.
I saw that.
Without spoiling anything, it is a A24 produced riff on a slasher film, a young teen Gen Z slasher film. It has a twist ending, as most slasher films do, but as I expected, it was going to be a twist that no one expected. So I expected to not expect the ending, and it definitely got me. And we've been talking about it since, but yeah.
Not saying anything about the ending. The ride was fun. The characters were fun. It made sense. It was a good commentary on this generation's dependence on technology and codependency and just all of it. It didn't feel like it was pandering.
No. It didn't feel like it was written by a grumpy old millennial who was just like, oh, they say stuff like,
They say triggered and gaslighting.
it felt very empathetic, and specifically with the Lee Pace character, they were like, see, it's not just young people who can't connect to old people, it's old people who aren't even trying to connect. Semi-spoiler, but there's a scene that could have gone a lot better had Lee Pace's character actually paid attention to what they were saying. I would still give it a pop. In fact, I would give it a pop, pop, pop. Bodies gets a
pop, pop, pop. I would agree with your pops. Other thing we watched is Gossip Girl, and that is just an eternal classic comfort show for me. It's one of the ones in my rotation. I will probably have that on my sleep list of things you can watch to sleep to, because it is a very good vibe.
Yeah.
Classic Gossip Girl, not the new Gossip Girl. I think most of us can agree that wasn't it. I enjoyed it, but not as Gossip Girl. They should have called it something else.
So it's interesting. There's really no way of saying this. Yes, I am dating someone, and she actually introduced me to The O.C. So we've been watching that, and I consider The O.C. to be a more chill version of Gossip Girl.
Boring.
It's just more my vibe. I like how even the most stressful things in the OC are not that stressful.
Well, it is a California show, and we
Yeah.
tend to be more laid back.
It's definitely a very laid back show. You should watch the OC and take a shot every time someone says somebody's full name. Because I swear to God, these characters are always like Julie Cooper, Jimmy Cooper, Seth Cohen.
Are they like celebrities?
They're not. No, they just say it. They're always like, Sandy Cohen.
Don't like mob bosses do that? They're like, Vinny Giuliani, where have you been?
It's very mob boss energy, but the show has nothing to do with mob bosses. So
That
it's
you
like,
know of. Have you finished it?
I have not finished it yet. I haven't gotten to the dear sister moment yet, so I don't know who gets shot.
Oh, that was.
Yeah, that's from the OC. So don't spoil it for me, all right? We also tried watching some Brad Pitt movie called, what was it called? It was, The Devil's Own. The Devil's Own.
Oh.
Barely got through that. We switched over to Mean Girls.
Yeah, what happened on Devil's Own again?
Yeah, I don't fucking remember.
But Brad Pitt was super hot.
You're from Belfast?
Oh, right. Because he had the accent, and we didn't realize till halfway through the movie that he had an accent because he wasn't really talking a lot. We were trying to figure it out. But it didn't matter because I was mainly looking at him. So I'm going to give that a pop.
Wow.
Just
Well, I'm
kidding.
going to give it a...
Kidding.
I can't even give it a pop or a stop. I
I'm
give
going to
it
give it a pause. I didn't finish it.
Yeah, we switched over to Mean Girls and then quoted the hell out of that. So.
Oh, my goodness. One day we will do Mean Girls on here.
Yeah.
And you guys... No. I was going to say, y'all are going to have to take a shot for every time we quote, but
No, you'd
will
be drunk.
Die.
You would die.
You will die.
Let it die. Let it die. Let it die.
I think any nostalgic movie, like any just movie that brings you comfort in rough times are perfect.
Mean Girls is definitely a group comfort movie. It's not necessarily one that I watch on my own, but I love watching Mean Girls with a group.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going to quote it. Oh, a new thing we watched, probably my favorite movie just beneath Everything Everywhere All at Once, was Nope. Side note, do you know how many movies have dead parents in them?
Yo, it's like crazy, y'all. For those pop stars that have lost a parent, you probably know media is not a safe place. As much as we've been saying, hey, media is our safe place, there was a lot of movies that surprised us. Even movies that we had seen many times before.
And never
we were
realized.
like, oh, wow, that sucks.
So we went to go see Nope, which involves a dying parent is the inciting incident. So that's already hard enough. I knew that kind of going in. But every trailer before it was just like, yeah, I lost my mom. Yeah, I lost my dad. Yeah, this happened. I was like, I looked over at my sister just like,
because that was really close after, too.
Yeah,
it was just kind
the
of
week
like,
after.
we're still in the...
We got the tickets in the hospital.
Yeah, we were still in the bubble of the feelings and trying to get past it.
That was rough. But it was an amazing movie.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
It was pretty straightforward. He just did his thing and then the movie was over.
I feel like I was thinking about that film for a solid 2 to 3 weeks after it came out. I don't know if I would say it's his best film, but I think it's my favorite of his 3 movies, Jordan Peele's 3 movies. If you don't know, Nope is just a old school throwback to an alien extraterrestrial invasion movie. It's not as twisty as you would expect it to be, but what it is about, once you realize, you find yourself thinking about it and kind of going, now wait a minute, how would that work? But not, at least in my case, not in a I don't like it and I'm angered. It was like, no, I just want to know more about the lore. But it's so simple. It wasn't confusing at all.
Yeah, I think that's what I liked and also didn't like about it. I did overall like the movie a lot, and I will watch it. I put it right between Us and Get Out.
Over us. How the fuck did Lupita do that?
Like, it was a fun ride. I think the movie was as good as Keke Palmer.
Keke Palmer was phenomenal.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I think that she sold the movie to me.
She definitely did.
I think without her, I would have just been like, meh, it was cool. I don't know if I'd watch it again.
Yeah, but I feel like people would say that almost as a critique of the directing and the writing, where it's like, oh, it was an okay movie, but it's saved by the performances. I would argue, no. Jordan Peele knew how well Keke Palmer and Daniel Kaluuya would work
play
off each other.
Yeah.
All the other actors, they just were solid, and it wasn't like the script was lacking and the actors had to pick up the slack. It was like, no, Jordan Peele knew this is going to be a simple story that's about these characters and how they react to it. And on that note, I think it succeeded.
Great.
What rating would you give it?
5 stars, Angel.
5 stars.
5 stars, Angel. 5 stars.
God, I love that movie.
Angel was cute too.
Yeah, I figured you would like him.
Yeah.
Let's go through else. What else did we watch? Oh, I've been rewatching Futurama.
Yeah, that's it.
That's a pop. I was also rewatching Westworld. Boy, is that show up its own ass.
I don't know where I came in, but the episode I watched with you, old white guy killed 3 black people in 5 minutes, and I was just like, bruh. From what I could see, it was 3 very significant black characters in the show.
Yeah.
Shot 3 of them in the head in 5 minutes, and I was like, what the fuck are you watching?
Yeah, not 1, not 2, but 3 main black characters right in the head. 2 of them women.
2 of which were women, exactly.
And it just was like, that left a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah, but then, 10 minutes later, one of them was already alive again. And
I know,
was
I
just
can't
like,
even count it as a spoiler, because that's how Westworld works.
Yeah.
It's like, a character dies, no biggie.
'Tis but a scratch. A scratch?
We tried watching Gray Man. Did you ever finish it?
No, I didn't.
It was a stop for me.
It's Chris Evans, so I'm going to say it's a pause.
I felt like he was trying too hard.
But I only made it into the first, 20 minutes because I had to go to bed because I had work in the morning.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed the bit of his character that I saw.
I don't know. It was giving a 20-year-old guy just watched The Dark Knight for the first time and wants to have fun chewing scene as a villain.
But it's a complete opposite character for him, so he did need to chew it because we know him as the upstanding, ultimate good guy. He had to be the antithesis of that.
You'll just still watch anything with Mr. Evans, with Daddy
I don't
Evans.
know what you're talking about.
Okay, so literally 2 days after everything happened, I took edibles, which could have been a horrible idea.
Yeah.
And I went and saw Minions: The Rise of Gru. And let me tell you,
Yeah.
I had a fucking goddamn blast with that movie.
Good.
I almost don't want to watch it again because I just want to leave it as this perfect memory in my head.
Yeah,
Because it was
yeah.
just exactly what I needed. It was just funny. I've never been a fan of the Despicable Me movies. I feel like the Minions themselves were just like, they're there to generate merchandise and laughs. Like, I'm not angry at it. I'm not cynical about it. I know what it is. I'm not 5. Because when you have them working for like a grown-up evil dude, their antics are just kind of annoying. When they're just doing their damnedest to raise an 11-year-old boy, trying really hard to just be good parents, it's 10 times more endearing. Have them be the smartest person in the room. That makes it 10 times funnier.
Oh, right, because they're not. I had no desire to see it until you told me the plot of it. I was like, oh, that's more interesting. I just feel like the commercial was just them almost crashing a plane. And I was like, I don't really care to see you guys bumblefuck through a movie that has no plot.
No, haha.
Don't get me wrong, it was a terrible movie, but it was amazing, and I give it a pop.
When my brother passed, the movie that did it for me was the Twilight Saga. Obviously, a lot of people hate it. A lot of you pop stars love it. That's why you're here. For me, it was that perfect combination of nostalgia, a movie I loved, a movie that I saw in theaters at midnight with my brother, every one of them.
Every one of them?
Not the first one, because we didn't know we liked it yet.
Right.
But all of them outside of that. Just the vibe of it, because I watched it literally the night that I found out. And so I was like, I can't watch anything happy, but I can't watch anything depressing.
Right.
And it just was right on that beautiful precipice of just bittersweet melancholy.
Yeah.
Slow, low energy. And I was just like, perfect. And we watched almost all of them.
Well, you guys did.
And
I
then
did.
fell asleep on the last one.
I think I saw like 5 minutes of it with you. And I remember even in that moment thinking, this makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, this feels right. Retroactively, I give those first 2 a pop.
We don't need to even rate it. We know. We already know.
For my dad's birthday, we watched Monsters, Inc. That was a good movie. It's always a classic. It was definitely the only Pixar film that wasn't gonna make us bawl crying after everything that happened. So it was like, Up? No, thank you. We're gonna watch Monsters, Inc. Probably won't be able to watch Up for a very long time.
Yeah, that's going to be a minute.
Lastly, before I circle back to Better Call Saul, we watched Old, the M. Night Shyamalan movie. It is fucking stressful. And I was trying to figure out what was stressing me out outside of the subject matter. I feel like normal horror movies, they have kind of an ebb and flow. There's the build up, and then there's kind of the cool down. Then there's the scare, and then there's the cool down. Like the build up, the scare, the cool down. The build up, the scare, the cool down. This movie was just like,
Boop, boop,
bum,
boop,
bum,
boop,
bum,
boop,
bum, bum,
boop.
bum, people dying, people dying, people dying. My brain was frying. I was just like,
Yeah.
why am I so fucking stressed out? This movie hasn't given you
A break.
slow conversation.
It doesn't give you a break. It's literally like one after the other. And if they give you a slow conversation, it's because they're about to traumatize you. When my brain figured out the pattern, oh, this isn't going to slow down, I just went,
I'm going to give it
turned
a
off.
stop, but, you know, still a pop for M. Night Shyamalan. It was a stop for me, but like, hey, man, keep making movies.
Swing away.
I don't think I hated it. For M. Night,
We had
a
a lot of logic questions.
Yeah, the logic, the science and the logic weren't there.
Do you have anything else to add before I circle back?
It's showtime, folks.
Better Call Saul. This was a show that I've been watching since 2015. It's the first and only show I've watched from beginning to end, where I watched every single episode live. It was a show I watched when I was going through a very depressing relationship. I think it's the most rewatched show in my
queue.
In my queue, yeah.
Yeah.
Because every time a new season would come out, I would rewatch the previous season. And I did that every time. So for the second season, I rewatched the first one. Then for the third season, I rewatched the first and the second, and so on and so forth. I watched it all. And then as I was rewatching seasons 1 through 5 to prepare for 6, you kind of joined in. You said because you identified with the main character.
Yeah, he's crafty. I
is.
just like that he really doesn't take no for an answer, as far as like he doesn't take that's impossible for an answer or
Right.
that won't work for an answer.
Right.
He always will figure out a way to manipulate things or mess with things so that he gets what he wants done. And I very much identify with that, because when we were trying to get anything going, in any point in this podcast, there was always things stopping us, and I was always like, okay, well, we can do this, and we can maybe
Always
break this
being
like
crafty.
this, and you're like, no, we're gonna do this the right way. And I'm like, well, I mean, that too.
And one of the things I loved about the Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul universe is that you sit with every character and every action. No episode happens without the previous one. It's the complete opposite of Westworld. These characters, they don't talk in plot points. There are so many times when the show could have ended, but a character just has their own ego get in the way, and their reaction to the other characters around them is what instigates the next episode and the next issue. And it's just phenomenal because, I mean, it's ruined other shows for me. I'm so used to a show that's just very detailed. And again, doesn't mean it's better. I can understand why people don't watch it. But for me, the way my brain works, especially when I'm high, I like for every single detail to make sense and for characters not to just be walking, talking plot points.
So our shows aren't good enough for you, Rizzo.
The attention to detail, I believe, is unmatched. You could easily see these characters deteriorating in front of your eyes. And they're not just caricatures of themselves by the final season. They feel like completely different people that you've watched get there.
That's true.
I think what Better Call Saul does that Breaking Bad didn't do was the creators behind the scenes, they made a show with Breaking Bad that was very much I'll just say it, a white male fantasy. An old white guy, literally a Walter White guy, runs around doing what he wants because his ego's been bruised. And a lot of people of color die in that first show. And a lot of women are treated very poorly. And I don't feel like the writers were being malicious. I feel like it just was a product of the time. Shut up! Fast forward to Better Call Saul, when it ends on a note that says, no, not only do we not validate those actions, here's a character that has learned, that made bad mistakes. He doesn't just get to get away with it, but it actually acknowledges and pays for it. Was like a perfect way to end a show that started all the way back in 2008 with Breaking Bad. It was a perfect way to say, hey, we've all grown and changed with the times. Kim Wexler is, to a lot of people, one of the best female characters that's ever been on TV. I would argue she's just one of the best characters, period. This is how you learn from your past mistakes as writers and creators and showrunners.
Yeah.
And how you create characters that are just like, God damn it if they're not good.
And I like Glee.
Have you watched Glee since then? We'll do a show on Glee. Do you want to do a show on Glee, Benji?
Yeah, it's just like,
We can do a pop stop on Glee.
That's all, folks.
Again, thank you so much for our pop stars and everyone who has just been extending well wishes during this time and still been loyal, and our loyal patrons. And we wanted to repay not only our patrons now, but our past and future patrons. When we first started Patreon, we definitely didn't know what we were doing. And a lot of people were understandably frustrated at the lack of content. So not only have we been uploading a lot of our old film reactions to Patreon, as a gift to everyone, we are releasing the full reactions to Bridgerton Season 1 free of charge for anybody who wants to see them.
It's free real estate.
If you are a patron, thank you for your support. You will still be getting your exclusive content. But if you're just one of our loyal YouTubers, you can click the link below and you can watch the Bridgerton videos until the day... What is that? Oh, just give us money?
no, you said free of charge, so I did money, but it stays in your pocket.
Oh, wow. The Bridgertons are now there for you to watch whenever you want, and they will not be going away.
They will be there.
They will be there. That's it. Shit, man. Bucket, are you awake? She looks tired as fuck.
Wasn't.
Bucket, do you want to say goodbye to the pop stars?
She's sleeping. Okay.
I'm Rizzo.
I'm Benji.
Sweet dreams, pop stars.
Keep watching.
I'm a dancing dog, and I'm a dance right now.
I'm so goddamn tired. My eyes are barely open. I'm a dancing dog.
This is not meth.